Alrighty, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want, and today we're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk and the unfortunate situation that has occurred. We're not going to be going through what happened to him. That's been talked about ad nauseum online, pertaining to his unfortunate demise, his passing, the fact that his family saw it, etc. I have to also point out, that's not just the only thing that's happened that's bad in the past, 72 hours or whatever. There's been, horrible things happening in Colorado. There's also been horrible events outside of the United States of America. But today I want to focus on this particular point pertaining to Charlie Kirk, the horrible thing that happened, but more so the reactions of those in terms of his opposition. Now, not everybody who doesn't like Charlie Kirk has said this. And luckily so, because they would probably also be losing their jobs too. But I just have to point this out. In terms of America, you do have the right for freedom of speech, judging somebody, saying that you don't like something or you do like something, that you don't like Charlie Kirk or you do like Charlie Kirk. You also have the right to disagree with him on, religious things or political things, to debate him, to disagree. That's the entire point of his whole change my mind stuff, all that kind of stuff, all the talking about everything that's happened. But unfortunately, due to his passing, a lot of people online have been, praising his death, dancing on his grave, acting like absolute swine pertaining to everything that's happened, hoping horrible things happen to his family, saying, oh, it's so good that these horrible things happened to somebody because we just don't like him. We don't agree with him politically, socially. We don't agree with him religiously. That's horrible. That's genuinely horrible. I actually don't know what's wrong with people. And I have to point out, a lot of people are losing their jobs due to this situation where they've been, praising his death because, just because you can say and do whatever you want in America, believe what you want to believe, doesn't mean that private companies are going to go along with it. So luckily, companies are starting to notice, this is probably a bad thing if we have our, employees praising the death of somebody unjustly. Particularly unjustly, because I don't really think, in spite of any disagreements he's had with people, that he's ever done anything, criminal. Charlie Kirk didn't murder anybody. He didn't, commit any egregious crimes. He wasn't a criminal. He was just a guy sharing his beliefs and having debates and stuff in campuses. And unfortunately, somebody took that way too far and felt that, due to their stupid ego, their insane political beliefs, that they should take his life. Now, somebody took that way too far. They succeeded in taking his life. And now other people are just praising that and laughing at it. And unfortunately, by the way, for all of these people who are happy about the fact that this happened, it's actually going to have the opposite effect of what you would want. Instead of silencing somebody, you've created a martyr. You've actually created a situation where people will never forget this guy, or it's going to be incredibly difficult to forget this guy, and he's going to be historically known as somebody who was assassinated just on the basis of his beliefs pertaining to religion and right-wing politics. So, it's done the opposite thing of what the left, extremists want to do. And, even in like my own social circles, I've heard people saying, oh, he wasn't assassinated. Oh, I don't care. I have no empathy towards him. And you know what? That's all nitpicking. But the fact that people are praising his death in many social circles, and also that people are, expecting not to face repercussions for, praising the death of somebody who was murdered unjustly. I don't know. I'm just sorry I'm rambling, but it's just so fucked up that so many assholes online think that it's funny, think that it's a good thing that somebody was murdered, because, you wouldn't like it if somebody, maybe with your own political views or your own religious beliefs, had that same experience. You'd probably be pretty devastated, especially if you were an advocate, a follower, if you really liked this person online. And I think that the current weird behavior from people online is also the fact that they are all chronically online. They have this perception that, oh, it's just people on a screen. It's not people in real life. Oh, whatever, he just got shot. Oh, he's dead. Boo-hoo. I just see him online. He's not real. This is a real human being who was murdered, and people are laughing about it. Like, that's a really bad perspective to have. It's not just unempathetic. It's not just stupid or silly. It's sociopathic. It's psychotic. It's delusional. It's insane. And I'm not surprised that so many people have gotten fired from their jobs for saying these things, like, advocating for his death. In fact, if I were a company, I wouldn't want somebody on behalf of my company working for me advocating for the death of somebody who didn't really do anything wrong outside of had different political and religious beliefs than somebody else who doesn't like him. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I just wanted to point this out because, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I don't know why so many people, in spite of any political beliefs, think it's not fucked up, but it's super fucked up to murder somebody just on the basis of their beliefs. It is. It's genuinely insane. I come from Canada where this would not be surprising. Like, you wouldn't even be able to say the things that Charlie Kirk has said in Canada because they don't have the same freedom of speech. They don't have the same religious freedom as much as they'd like to say they do. They really don't. So if this happened in Canada, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, it is what it is. But here, I really didn't expect that to occur. I thought people were slightly more civil than that. People weren't that insane. But it turns out to be that, no, people are scum and they deserve to rot. People laughing and advocating for the death of somebody just because of their different social, political, and religious beliefs is absolutely fucking insane. It's the most fascist shit I've ever heard. And ironically, these are all the people that also say that Charlie Kirk was a fascist. Oh, he was a fascist. He was a horrible person. He deserved to die because he was a fascist. And instead, they're praising and advocating for the same thing that they say they don't advocate for. They're advocating for shutting down somebody on the basis of their beliefs. They're not acting liberal, by the way. That's not a normal liberal belief. Like, liberals are not supposed to be shutting down conversation. That isn't normal. That's fascist. That's fucked up. That's psychotic. That's like extreme far left. Any super crazy extremes. Extreme far left. Extreme far right. It's genuinely bad on both ends. And this is another form of extreme political viewpoint. You aren't opening up conversation, you're not sharing your opinion, you're not sharing your beliefs, you're just shutting down conversation and creating more issues. It's a genuinely bad situation to advocate for, and also, this creates a greater political divide. You've got the extreme far left, the extreme far right, everybody hates each other, there's no way we're gonna get along, we can't have a functioning economy, we can't have functioning companies, we can't have a functioning society, you can't go outside without worrying about getting shot because you believe in whatever, being right-wing, or you believe in God or Jesus Christ. And that's horrible. Societal judgment is completely reasonable, especially when it comes to extreme political viewpoints. If you yourself perceive those extreme political viewpoints from Charlie Kirk, you saw that, oh, he's extreme. It's not good to cut down that conversation. You want to open it up. But ironically, people have shut it down in the worst way possible and actually advocated for it. So no matter what your beliefs, whether you're right-wing, whether you're left-wing, whether you're religious or you're not, whether you are an advocate or you don't like Charlie Kirk at all, or you hate his guts, whatever the case is, the praising of an unjust murder of a man with a family, like, it's wrong. It's not right. This guy had a family. This guy had kids. This guy wasn't like a psycho. He was like a Christian right-wing dude who advocated for specific political policies, and he was doing a good job at convincing other people to join his side, which is why people didn't like him. So, I just have to point this out. I can't fucking believe that so many people are such shit to think that it's a good thing to be praising somebody's death, and especially somebody who didn't do shit wrong. I just wanted to make this video really quick because, I know that we don't really talk that much about politics on my channel. I kind of avoid it. Sometimes I shit talk my home country, because it's shit. And sometimes I'll bring up a few things here and there. And everybody has the right to disagree with me. In fact, a lot of my audience members, including that of yourself, pretty chill on the conversation basis. I haven't heard that many extreme viewpoints. Haven't heard anybody advocate for somebody's death unjustly. In fact, we've had a lot of conversations that I think are very constructive on this channel. But no matter what the political beliefs are here, the unjust murder of somebody should not be, advocated. We shouldn't be laughing about this. This is actually a really serious situation that will create political foundations and new laws. It's going to restructure society in the future. So this is the time to make sure that you're clear-headed about what's really going on here in spite of things that you don't like about a person. This is the time where you should be recognizing, hey, this was a bad thing that happened even if I don't agree with this guy. Now, personally, I never really got that into watching Charlie Kirk. I never really watched him that much. But I didn't find anything he said to be particularly egregious and horrible. He just had different political beliefs than other people online. Never had I seen a video of him and thought, oh man, this guy deserves to die. Like, that's really fucked up. I think anybody who's advocating for the death of Charlie Kirk and saying it was a good thing that happened, because it's not, I think they really need to sit down and take a really long look at themselves and really think about what this means for society, for themselves, for what they want to be able to put out into the world. You know, you all deserve to be able to share your beliefs, to judge people, to dislike things you dislike, to like things you like. You know, you have the right to believe in specific political views. You have the right to have your own political views, your own religious beliefs. You have the right to think how you want to think and speak how you want to speak. That's the entire point of living in America. The biggest thing about this country is the right to share what you want to share, believe what you want to believe, and be who you want to be. And unfortunately, the shutting down of that is creating the opposite effect that's going to shake up everybody's shit. So I just want to point out, I think it's personally pretty wrong. Even if I saw somebody that I didn't agree with politically or socially, I wouldn't wish for them to get horribly, brutally murdered in the street. And, you know, I don't think it's a reasonable perspective to have pertaining to the things that have just occurred. I'm a pretty psychotic person, by the way, but just because somebody's somewhat different than me doesn't mean that I would want them to burn at the stake. So, I don't know. Personally, I think the way that things have gone down are wrong, and I just want to put my 2 cents into this because everybody's been talking about it, and it's been really bothering me. Everybody in my social circle's talking about it too, and it's really bothering me. So, anyways, that's the video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time. I'd say it's been lovely, but this week's pretty fucked up. In fact, so many fucked up things have happened this week on a social, political basis, and a well-being of our country basis that I genuinely can't say it's been lovely. So yeah, anyways, that's the video, and I'll see you all next time.